Welcome back to the Powerful Communication Podcast. This is Colin Kelly from Comsteria, and if you'd like to find out more about the media training, presentation skills training, podcast and video production, and everything else we get involved in, you can visit us at comsteria.co.uk. I hope you're well today, and thank you for all your support in listening and sharing this podcast. I want to talk today about why I think it's important board members, owners, so-called silent partners, or the people in backgrounds to our businesses and organisations, why I think it's important that they have some sort of profile and they do come out and speak. It's not something I expect them to do often. I certainly wouldn't expect these people, like chair people and shareholders and owners, I don't expect you ever to be chasing publicity for the sake of it. And a lot of the time, people wouldn't even be that interested. But I do think it's important that you, on an ongoing basis, do something. If the only time I hear from you is when there's a crisis, there's a big risk. Because you're doing nothing to cultivate goodwill. You're doing nothing to build any sort of rapport or a relationship. And the risk is that when something goes wrong and you do need to speak, that I might not trust you because I don't like you, and I don't like you because you haven't given me any opportunity to like you, because you haven't let me get to know you. And I absolutely understand, whether we're looking at private enterprise or we're looking at the public sector, I understand how organisations operate, and that boards would often say, well, it's not for us to tread on toes. We wouldn't say how the organisation should be run. We're here in a governance role, right? It's the day-to-day management team do that. It's them you should speak to. I understand all that. However, I think often that is used as a shield. It's used as a diversion, and it's used as a means to justify avoiding speaking in public, avoiding being too close to the people that you're there to serve. Maybe because of lack of confidence, or you think something's going to go wrong, or you don't trust the media, you don't like them, whatever it is. And let me show you just a couple of recent examples, okay? One is historic environment, Scotland. I'm not going to comment on what's going on there, but the point is that the people involved were largely anonymous and unknown. They didn't really, most of them, have any sort of profile in the general population. And so it means when we're saying somebody's off, somebody's suspended, somebody's left, people draw that there's a vacuum that will get filled with rumour and with innuendo and with speculation, and sometimes in some situations with malice. The other example I want to look at is Celtic Football Club. The manager, Brendan Rodgers, leaves, and what happens? The principal shareholder comes out with this incredible statement where he talks about the manager basically undermining things for the last few months, suggests that there was a sort of self-serving approach going on. And Celtic Football Club had a situation where their manager was speaking to the media sometimes 2 or 3 times a week. And the principal shareholder, how often was he speaking to or taking questions or standing in front of the media, the fans, the public? It was hardly ever happening. Okay, now, I'm not getting involved in the situation between Brendan Rodgers and Desmond. Desmond, I want you to be thinking about how this might apply to your own situation and your own business. If we've got a chair, if we've got a board, if we've got shareholders who are in the background and are silent, you might well think that there's a safety in that. I would say I think there's a risk. And the risk is one day something will go wrong. It could well be someone else letting you down or something completely out of your control. Hey, here's another one. BBC Director General. And people come to your door and they say, well, you should have done something about this. You should have known. What were you doing? Why are you here? What do you actually do? And because they don't know you or like you or understand you or trust you, which is basically your fault because you've done absolutely nothing to build it up. If you only appear once a year at the AGM, that is a risk. And what, of course, a lot of people do is they think, well, hey, I'm only here for 3 years. All I need to do is get through a certain amount of board meetings, a certain amount of AGMs. I can just fly right under the radar. And great, that's fine. But I think in this day and age, now, you don't need to be sitting down inviting the Herald and the Daily Record and BBC Scotland to come and chat to you. But you've got your own roots. You've got social media. You've got your YouTube channel. At least give people the chance to get to know you. Now, clearly for us, why do I care about this? Why am I giving an interview? Well, number one, I genuinely would rather that organisations didn't get themselves in a mess, right? In the same way that we expect every organisation to have a grasp on their financials and some professionalism there, I expect every organisation to have a grasp on their reputation and some form of media and public engagement. I think it's good for transparency and good for democracy and good for accountability. And I don't think it should all be on the MD, the chief exec, the people that are fronting up and running it every day. I want to know who the people are behind the scenes and what you're doing. At least give me the opportunity to get to know you. And if you do that when things are good, it's going to be easier when things are bad. Okay, there's a reason why when Sir Richard Branson ran Virgin Trains and, God forbid, there was a train crash, there's a reason why he stood there and gave the interviews. There's a reason why he cultivated a reputation. And I'm not suggesting you need to be like Richard Branson, by the way, but he cultivated the reputation. He gave people the opportunity to get to know him. And if I get to know him, I can like him. If I like him, I can trust him. And if I trust him, then when he's telling me we'll learn lessons and this journey will be safe, I believe him. And that helps his business. And it's notable that the examples that I've quoted, BBC, Celtic Football Club, Historic Environment Scotland, nobody has really been able to come out and say that. And the reason for that is we don't know these people because they haven't given us that opportunity. Now, this doesn't come naturally to everybody. I get that. Some people have achieved a status in life via academia or engineering or some sort of discipline or skill or education that they have. And they might not think that they have conversational skills, communication skills. It's just a skill. It can be learned and it can be practiced. And there may well be people in your organisation who can help you develop that. But it's also something, as in our business, that we can offer. We love working with people and helping take you from a very reluctant speaker with your head in the sand, hoping this might all go away, and helping you unlock that and embrace it and stepping into that truth. And I think there's a real freedom and many, many benefits that come with that. I think there's a peace and security that come from knowing that you are that little bit more accountable, that you're able to speak to your staff, your customers, your audience, whoever that might be, the rest of your community. So don't be shy. Have a look around your organisation, see what kind of resource you've already got that you can tap into. And if you need to speak to us, then you know where we are. Thank you very much for listening. Have a great day.